All right, welcome to Solving and Graphing Compound Inequalities, Day 2. So, in our first section, which is section E, we want to represent the solution to each part of the compound inequality on the number line. Then, write the final solution that is represented by each graph. All right, so for number 9, we have x is greater than 5 or x is greater than 1. Sorry, x is greater than or equal to 5 or x is greater than 1. So I'm just going to take those two numbers, which are 5 and 1, and place them on the number line. So when I place them, I want to make sure that 1 goes on the left side, because remember, all of these numbers on the left are smaller, and all the numbers on the right are bigger. Okay, so that's why 5 has to go to the right. I do not want to see anybody doing this. This is wrong, okay? Do not have 5 and 1 like this. This is wrong. 5 does not go on the left, all right? So it has to be 1 and 5 like that. Now, let's do x is greater than or equal to 5 in blue. Why not? So x is greater than or equal to, that means I'm going to fill in the circle at 5. Why am I filling it in? Because there is the equal to line, okay? So remember that the empty circle goes with those two, and then the filled in circle goes with these. So x is greater than or equal to 5. That means you want to have a filled in circle at 5. And then you want to shade everything to the right because it's greater. So I'm just going to draw an arrow like that. We also have the word or, and then it says x is greater than 1. So put a empty circle here. Why is it empty? Because when you have just greater than, there's no equal to line, then you want to have the open circle. X is greater than 1. So I'm going to shade in everything to the right of 1. And then our final solution. Okay, so here's where it might get tricky for some people, but hopefully you'll understand after all the practice problems and after all the examples, okay? So whenever it says or, you kind of want to take the shortcut. So whenever it says or, you want to take a shortcut. And what I mean by that is, let's say I am the laziest person in the world, and I have to tell you this answer, even though I'm the laziest person ever. Do I want to say x is greater than or equal to 5 or x is greater than 1? Or what's the easiest way I can say it? My shortcut is to simply tell you x is greater than 1. And why is this my shortcut? Because as long as I say x is greater than 1, that's all this purple stuff, right? As long as I say all that purple stuff, I've already talked about this blue stuff. Like, I would not even need to say this blue stuff, because all I had to say was x is greater than 1, because I'm the laziest person in the world, but I still had to tell you my answer. So I can cut my work in half by just saying x is greater than 1, because the blue part is already talked about under the purple part. Okay, so that's my shortcut, because I'm a lazy person. Whenever you see or, you want to take the shortcut, okay? Let's have another example. We have x is greater than 12 or x is less than or equal to 4. So let's put our numbers 4 and 12. It doesn't matter how close together, how far apart you put them, it's fine. Okay, I'll just use green. X is greater than 12, so I'm going to have an empty circle, empty because there's no equal to line. And it says greater than, so I'm going to go to the right. Then over here, it says x is less than or equal to 4. I see the equal to line, so I must fill in my circle at 4. So it's filled in. And it says less than. Okay. In this case, as you can see, they're pointing in different directions. So even if I wanted to be really lazy, even though it says or and I want to be lazy, if I were to give you the complete answer, I still have to say x is greater than 12 or x is less than or equal to 4. I have to give you exactly what it gave me here because there's no overlap. They're pointing in opposite directions. There's no overlap, so I cannot be lazy. I need to just tell you what it is. All right. Let's take a look at another example. Example number 11. And by the way, before I do this one, if you guys are confused, please call me over so I can help you out, okay? That's during the videos, that's during the problems later on when you're doing them on your own. If you ever need help, you need to call me over so I can help you out. I know it's not the same as live lessons, but it's pretty similar because you can just pause the video anytime to let me know you need help. Okay, number 11, x is greater than or equal to 7 and x is less than or equal to 19. So this one has the word and. So here's my 7, here's my 19. And then it says x is greater than or equal to 7. So remember, when I have the equal to line, I must fill in my circle. So here it is filled in, and it's greater, so I'm just going to go like that. And it also says x is less than or equal to 19, so I'll just do that one in green. I see the equal to, so I'm going to fill that in, fill it in, fill it in, fill it in. It takes a while. X is less, so I'm going to shade in everything to the left. You will now notice that there is some overlap. Actually, let me draw my arrows longer. I'm just going to draw longer arrows. Okay, so now you will notice that there is some overlap over here in the middle. I'm just going to highlight it in, I don't know, in green, whatever. This part gets highlighted in green, and this part also gets highlighted in purple. So it's shaded in by both the x is greater than 7, greater than or equal to 7, and the x is less than or equal to 19. It's covered by both. And so anytime you see the word and, you're going to want to look for overlap. And you only want to have that overlap in your final answer. Because if it's and, it has to be both. This section, it's not both, it's just green. This section, it's not both, it's just purple. Only this part is the overlap. Only this part does the x is greater than 7 and also does x is less than or equal to 19. So this is the and portion. So you only want to say this part. How do I write that? 7 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 19. You write it as a conjunction. All right, so you write it in compact form as a conjunction. So that's number 11. Let's take a look at number 12. All right, let's write 3, 9. Okay. So x is greater than or equal to 9. Fill in my circle because there's an equal to line, and then shade to the right because it says greater than. Okay, and then over here, x is less than or equal to 3. So it says equal to, so I'm going to fill it in, and it says less than, so I'm going to go to the left. All right, now remember, for the word and, you want to look for overlap. Okay, I don't have any parts that overlap. This part is only yellow. It's not an overlap. This part has nothing at all. It's not an overlap. This part only has blue, not an overlap. You want something that has blue and yellow at the same time, and I don't see it anywhere. So final solution is no solution. Because there's no overlap anywhere on your number line, okay? So if there's no overlap and it says and, there's no solution. Simply because you need it to have overlap if it says and I don't see any overlap at all. So this is no solution. Once again, if you have questions, please call me over, okay? Let me summarize as best as I can. If you see the word or, that means you want to look for the shortcut. How lazy can you get when you're telling me the answer? If you can be lazy, like in number 9, where you only have to say one of the things, then be lazy. That's the shortcut. That's what you do when you see or. If you can't be lazy, then be lazy. If you see the word and, you have to look for overlap. If there's no overlap, there's no solution. If there is overlap, you write it as a conjunction. Conjunction like this. Okay? All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.